I believe that Hezbollah has more dangerous missiles than the guns and the rockets and etc. It's how they educate children in schools. It's how they get illegal drugs and illegal medications to treat people. I have lots of patients, for example, complaining that they cannot get their usual medication because they are obliged to get the Iranian drug.
The Shia are like a family. The father is an alcoholic. He beats them. He's not good with their mom, not good with the children. But the neighborhood is full of wolves, human wolves. So if they go out, someone will eat them. So they won't go out unless there is another father, another house,
that will incubate them,
another roof to go there, to protect them. So we are telling the Shia that the experience of militia, the suggestion of weapon will protect is failed. It's failing now. It's done. We have to move on into a new era where we want, as Shia, to be part of the state, for one. For two, we want, as Shia, to be part of the Arab world and to be part of the international community.
The Shia in the whole world.
Our Pope is Sistani.
Our Pope is Sistani. It's not the Khamenei.
Really?
So of course. Walayat al-Faqih is not about the Shia. Walayat al-Faqih is a new concept that came to the Shia party in the last 45 years with Al-Khomeini.
Hi everyone, my name is Daisy Gideon and welcome to another episode of Real Talk. In this podcast, we uncover the uncharted realities of Lebanon and the Middle East by introducing you to real people with real stories to shift the narrative about this misjudged jewel and the reasons why this region remained so tumultuous. We hope you enjoy the podcast and are grateful to all those who support us through their generous donations. It is only due to your support and contributions that we're able to continue delivering these unexplored, real stories. So thank you. Now let's jump in.
Welcome to episode 15 of Real Talk. It's my pleasure to be with you. And today we have a fascinating topic for you, looking into the rise of a new Shia movement across Lebanon, a political movement that really challenges the ideas, the perceptions and the beliefs that we all have about Shi'ism that has been portrayed for the last 20, 30 years. A great initiative, and we're here to talk to you about that with two very important guests, Mohamad Barakat and Dr. Hadi Mourad. Before we start, just want to thank everyone who's been supporting Real Talk. Your contributions, your comments, your financial support has been extremely great. We're all extremely grateful for it. Again, I remind people we are a completely independent platform. We've witnessed over and over again for the last year and a half the rise of propaganda and the control of global media. In Lebanon, we are not far from that, and we suffer from a tremendously impacted media presence here, the influence over the independent media. So this platform, with a lot of other smaller platforms, truly represents and hopes to represent the independent voices and bring to you the truth amongst the people and the voices that are really trying to change, reform Lebanon for the better, democratically, ethically, and for a future that represents the faces of all Lebanese. So thank you again for all your support. Before I get in, I'm going to give you an introduction on our two guests, political writer Mohamad Barakat and Dr. Hadi Mourad. Let me just introduce everyone to you with your bios. Let's say, Mohamad Barakat, you're a distinguished Lebanese journalist and media professional with over 2 decades of experience in the field. You're currently the managing editor of Asas Media, a prominent political platform focused on investigative pieces and op-eds. In addition, you are pursuing a PhD in media studies at the St. Joseph University in Beirut. You're an accomplished author. You've published more than 6 books spanning poetry, short stories, novels, scientific research and political analysis to represent the diversity of your intellect, Throughout your career, you've been outspoken on various political entities in Lebanon. In August 2022, you received threatening messages from individuals. That was after the elections, including supporters of Hezbollah, following your critique of the speech by the late Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah. And more recently, and most relevant to the podcast today, is that you are the founding member of Nahu al-Anqaz. I don't know if I pronounced that right. World Saving, a political bloc that distanced itself from traditional sectarian affiliations. Welcome to the podcast
Thank
today,
you.
Mohamad.
Thank you.
And Dr. Hadi Mourad, you're a Lebanese medical doctor, a poet, political activist, and media personality. I love the diversity of both of your experiences. It brings in such a wealth of interests and experience.
We are dreamers. We're coming from poetry.
I'm with you 100%.
Both
Dr. Mourad, you graduated from the Lebanese American University School of Medicine, pursued a master's in e-health management at Rome Business School. You have a background in medical research and you worked in clinical trials in hematology and oncology. Sadly, that's both very relevant in Lebanon.
Exactly.
While also advocating for better healthcare policies in Lebanon. You're outspoken as a critic of the government mismanagement, particularly during the COVID crisis. That led to legal action and a professional backlash towards you, but also you earned widespread public support for those actions. Beyond your medical career, you are an accomplished poet and author like your partner today, having published several poetry manuscripts in a novel, the book Body of War. We'll have to read that one.
Yeah.
Is it in English and Arabic or just Arabic?
It's in Arabic, but hopefully
We'll have to translate it. Published by Al Prince, which achieved bestseller status at the Beirut Book Fair in 2018. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've made significant contributions to media and broadcasting in Lebanon, and you currently serve as the editor-in-chief of Al-Haqiqah.
Right, Al-Haqiqah.
Al-Haqiqah news website, which means the
truth.
The truth. All right. Additionally, you host a Ramadan show on MTV in Lebanon. And again, you are also the founding member of Nahu al-Anqadh. You don't pronounce the Z?
Nahwa, the word.
Nahwa
al-Inqadh, saving.
al-Anqadh.
Yeah.
Got you. So just to give people an overview of what we're going to dive into today, there are a few topics, but of course that'll lead us into many discussions, but hopefully trying to keep within the 1 hour time frame so that you can rush off to your appointments. One of the areas I'd like to start off with is looking at the demise, if it's really happened, of Hezbollah and the Amal movement, the main two Shia movements that have dominated Lebanon for decades now, and what that means. And in that conversation, I do want to look at what Shiaism is and the propaganda, the belief, the opinions of people towards that, particularly the West. So we'll dive into that topic to start with, then we'll go into the alternative bloc that you've created, your values, the issues that you're standing for, and what that means, how that represents Shia, the whole Shia movement. Does it represent everyone? We'll also then go into the strategy for the 2026 elections. We thought the 2022 elections were going to be important. I think 2026 are far more significant.
Exactly.
And we'll dive into that. And then, looking at what next for Hezbollah and coming back into a more, intricate discussion of the situation right now, because they still exist as a political party, and we just want to look at what the government is dealing with from your perspective. So we'll run through those topics. So let's get started with that first issue. Where does Hezbollah stand today? We've witnessed the demise and the weakening of the party and the military movement as a result of the Israeli bombings over the last 8 months or so, particularly attacking the Secretary General, assassinating many people, and they continue to do that. Even 3 days ago, there was a bombing in Dahya last week. Israel seems to be out of control. Just whenever it chooses, it's coming in, still bombing the south, the Bekaa, despite the ceasefire agreement signed on the 27th of November. But so where does that leave Hezbollah and Amal movement that is led by the Speaker of the House, Nabi Berri?
Before, let's separate Amal from Hezbollah.
Okay.
They're not the same, because Hezbollah is a military full equipped by missiles, by outside jobs in Iraq, Yemen, Syria, Europe, North America, Gulf. But Amal is a Lebanese movement which is allied with Hezbollah, but it's not the same. Mm-hmm. And the Amal supporters are less religious. It's not less religious. but let's say they are not more religious from Hezbollah supporters because
And less extremist.
less extremist. Yeah, this is the word I was. So let's separate them. So where does Hezbollah stand now? He's losing his military body. He's losing his sense, his logic, his speech. He's losing the battle of the media, and he is losing more his control over Lebanon.
The public support as well. The
Yeah,
popularity
the public
of
support,
Exactly.
the Lebanese public support, and also some of the Shiite public support. So that's where Hezbollah stands now. But how can we make sure of all these losses? How can we make these losses appear in the government and the parliament? So here we need the project. We need, I think, an Arabic project supported by Arabs and supported by West, by Europe, by America. I don't know, because Hezbollah is not a Lebanese party. It's an Iranian party. It was supported by Bashar al-Assad state, supported somehow by Russia, supported somehow by the East. We can say China or others. So who is supporting the other Shia in Lebanon? No one.
Nobody.
Over the past 2-3 decades, we were orphans. We were left over the streets. Abandoned. Sometimes Hezbollah was killing some of us. The late Luqman Slim, Hashim Salman, and many others. And they are threatening us in our homes, in our families, in our villages. So here we stand now at a turning point. It's now or never. Israeli missiles, American extreme pressure, it's not enough. And it's not gonna take the Shia away from him. Maybe the reverse will happen. What is needed right now is an Arabic project to take the Shia out of the Iranian
power control, yeah.
And to take them to first
give them an alternative
to the Lebanese state, which is supported by Arabs and West, and to give them a new back.
Before we dive into that, let me get Dr. Hadi's opinion on this situation, and then we'll dive in. But we'll touch on a few things before we dive into the project.
Hezbollah was established on the basis of making his people think that they are weak, they are away from the state, and he actually benefited from this fact. For example, in Biqa' and in Baalbek, he left people behind without job opportunities, without education, etc. So he was insisting on telling his people that you need us. And in addition to that, Hezbollah tried to build a state inside the country, his independent state, education-wise, military-wise. So we always talk about the missiles of Hezbollah. But I believe that Hezbollah has more dangerous missiles than the guns and the rockets and etc. It's how they educate children in schools. It's how they, for example, get illegal drugs and illegal medications to treat people. I have lots of patients, for example, complaining that they cannot get their usual medication because they are obliged to get the Iranian drug. So they try to invade the market in Lebanon in all the sectors. That's why when we are talking about the urgent need to have an alternative project, which is first of all a Lebanese/Arab project, because the Shia of Lebanon, they were always Arabs. Even with Imam Musa Sadr, who is the moderate Shia Imam, was talking about the direct link and tight relationships between the Shia in Lebanon and the Arab world. So Hezbollah came all of a sudden and made the divorce between the Shia in Lebanon and the Arab countries and also the Western countries. Like right now, the Shia who belong to Hezbollah say about America, Ash-Shaitan Akbar, the big devil. So they try to draw a wrong image for the other world to let their people always tied to them and not thinking out of the box. So right now, after all of these narratives and the false narratives that were suddenly were apparent after the last war, which reversed all the narrative that our missiles can get Israel and get Tel Aviv in 7 minutes. So this narrative was false. Other than that, the fall of the Syrian regime by Bashar al-Assad. So Shia in Lebanon have lost more than 4,000 young people in the fight for the sake of having Bashar al-Assad in his regime. So right now, there is also like anger from the Lebanese Shia that why did we go to Syria to defend Bashar al-Assad, who actually ran away without being in his country. So actually, all of these narratives, which were found to be wrong right now, are making the Lebanese Shia who used to belong to Hezbollah to think out of the box and try to find another alternative and another narrative. That's
So
why we are
you're
here.
saying there's an awakening that's been
Yeah.
happening among the Shia in Lebanon
Of course.
because of what's been exposed, Bashar al-Assad running away from Syria, the situation, as you said, the propaganda or the big claims of having missiles that could destroy Israel, but them not eventuating. And I think, as well, believing that Iran would support Hezbollah and Iran abandoning Hezbollah, abandoning that point of view during that battle is something that shocked a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen this transformation or awakening actually happening among Shia because I have relatives in that community. My sister is married to a Shia, or was married to a Shia, so we have a big family that we're related to in the Bekaa. My work has taken me into those villages, into all areas in the south, across the country. And even when I was making my documentary in 2017, 2018, 2019, when I was going back and forth, meeting people, there was a beginning of a disappointment, a disaffection with not only the whole Lebanese government, but with the situation with Hezbollah among the Shia that really came to a head during the economic crisis when everyone was completely shocked when their money, their finances...
Yes, the weapons didn't protect the money in the banks, the Shiite money specifically, and the African Shia are so upset from Hezbollah. They didn't elect, only 5% of African Shia elected Hezbollah and Amal in 2022. That's documented. So that's before the war. Now, their money and their houses and their villages and their future in Lebanon, they're not coming back now.
But I know people in Dahi, for instance, who've received money since their house was damaged, not to replace their house.
It's not
10,000,
money.
12,000, but they're handing out money to try and, do you think, to try and keep them aligned with them, to keep their support?
The political issues, if you lose, it doesn't mean I won. So Hezbollah is losing, but who is winning? Hezbollah is willing to lose in front of Christians, in front of Sunnah, in front of Druze, but he
doesn't want to lose in front of the Shia.
In front of the other Shia. So what everyone is doing inside and outside Lebanon is making his speech more stronger, his narrative more stronger, by showing him as a Shiite loser, and the Shia will feel losing with him because who is winning? Nawaf Salam, Joseph Aoun, Walid Jumblat, Samir Jaja.
These are not Shia to them.
So in Lebanon, you cannot make Hezbollah lose in front of those names. If you want him to lose, really lose, he has to lose in front of other Shia. Shia who were holding another project decades ago, and they are still, our narrative is winning.
Base everything on this narrative.
Yeah, and we cannot turn this winning into politics because of the lack of the project, the big project. I will not be running for elections, not at all. I told this to Hadi, to all our colleagues. I will not be running even if I have the chance to win. So 13 leader of 17
October
Revolution got into the parliament. But they didn't make a difference. They didn't achieve anything because there is no project. And I'm not willing to be, and I think many others, they're not willing to be some stunts in the parliament so the Arabs or the Americans will say, oh, there is another Shia. No.
Look,
I'm not willing to do this.
I will challenge that perspective on the reformist change MPs that won in 2022, just because they're only 12, they were reduced from 13 to 12 after the challenge against Rami Fanj, and he lost his seat. But
I think they lost also Lias Jiradi.
Well,
They're 11 now.
He's still there officially.
No, he is Hezbollah.
I think he will be with Hezbollah in the elections.
He will be in the list of Hezbollah.
Yeah, this is the news that's coming out. We'll wait and see. Some people say he's still savable, but for the point that you made, I just want to clarify, like, you're talking of 12 MPs out of 128, and they are, a bloc, a very good bloc, but even
the blocks.
Well, if you wanted to look at them as a bloc, even if they operated as a bloc.
Let's say that.
But you have, larger blocs who aren't achieving what they want to achieve within the parliament because it's a parliamentary republic and, you have to have 65 at least to get legislation through. So the reality is it was just the beginning. It was impossible for them to have transformative change or effect transformative change in the parliament with such a small group. But we did see them affect the committees.
Let me make
They've had an influence on the committees.
No.
They've put forward laws.
I disagree with you because my point of view that they didn't make any achievements, not because they are only a small bloc. No. They are fighting each other's from day one because they didn't run for the elections on one project. That's what I'm saying.
That I agree with you with. That 100%.
Yeah,
but
that's the problem. It's not the.
But it's not them.
No, the Kataib are 5 or 4, and they are a one block.
100%.
Yeah, so they are more effective than the 12.
And
it's not about numbers.
This is in hindsight when you look at it, and we've had these conversations and discussions and analysis. Is that they're entitled as independents. We in Australia, the last elections that we had, 2022 as well.
You voted for them.
We had teals, this huge number of independents. They were more organised, however. This group of Lebanese reformists that you're talking about, yes, they all came under their own banner and with different viewpoints and beliefs and areas.
Different money supporters, different...
But political ideology as well. So in their right, they are independent. So it's not that they don't talk to each other. It's just that on certain issues, they don't agree with one another. They're still working, talking, but the way they want to approach change is different. And this
Hezbollah costs $40 billion over 3 decades. You cannot defeat him by making Hadi Mourad or Mohamad Barakat members of parliament with $2 million. It's not how it works in Lebanon. You have to make a big project.
Of course. We're going to get into that. I just want to address that topic because for me, it's not that I'm defending them. Honestly, I've been here for 3 years, back and forward, going into parliament, having conversations, and I don't want to denigrate the effort and the impact that they've made because I think a lot of people are beating, and I think it's unfair because they are discovering themselves. A lot of them are not professional politicians, but I think the change movement...
Why did they run for elections if they're not professional politicians?
That's okay. That's okay.
No, it's not okay for me. It's Lebanon. It's Nabih Berri. Samir Jaja. It's dinosaurs.
But can you
cannot send Cynthia Zarazir to Nabih Berri.
I understand.
Or Najat Aoun to Nabih Berri or Milham Khalaf to
that's
stay
a good learning
the
to take
300
away.
nights in the parliament.
That's a good learning to take away for 2026. But we shouldn't be beating people who have tried. We should be learning and understanding what is going to work in 2026 so that we all who believe in a future for Lebanon are working together no matter what sides we're on, what beliefs we have. Because we have a vision that means that we are trying to eliminate corruption. That's just all I'm trying to say is it happens all over the world. We're learning. There's only been 4 elections really in Lebanon over the last 20, 30 years. It's not like we've had a lot of opportunities.
You have 9 years without any elections
Exactly.
between 2009 and 18.
Exactly. So let's not hit them. Let's try and work
I'm not
out.
hitting them. I'm saying what you're saying. We have to learn
Exactly.
from their experience. Their experience is learning us, is teaching us that we must have one project all over Lebanon.
So let's talk about this project.
27 phase running for the Shiite elections all over Lebanon in one list. One list in many districts. But one
South and Beirut. One project.
One project.
Yeah. And let's go into the project. Let's go into your initiative.
نحو الإنقاذ.
نحو الأنقاذ. Towards salvation?
No, أنقاذ is ركام.
إنقاذ إنقاذ. نحو الإنقاذ.
نحو الإنقاذ.
To save our country, towards saving the country.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I got the translation. Towards salvation? Does that translate well?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
So let's look at this. It recently was launched, Mahak.
It was like 3 months ago. After 1 month from the, or less than 1 month from the fire
ceasefire.
18 December.
18 December.
So 24.
Okay, so 18th of December, you launched this. You had 100 activists or so and journalists. You've come together from the south, from the Bekaa, from Beirut, from Dahiyeh. You've brought people, anyone from the north? Any people from the north?
They are supporters, Druze, Sunnah, Christians.
And from Jbeil also we have friends from the Shia also party from the Shia.
But we are now, Hadi will explain more, we are not able to make all of them even meeting in one place.
I will explain now.
Let's start from the beginning. Introduce the world towards salvation.
نحو الإنقاذ was established by a group of Lebanese citizens, Shia especially.
Most of them
are Shia. Mohamad, me, myself, many other people, Mohamad Shami, and many other people. Also, we have artists inside our movement. We have politicians. We have journalists. We have doctors, etc.
And we have a sheikh.
And we have a sheikh also, Sheikh Abbas Jawhari, who is also a religious man, but he is a modern and not extremist. So we are not fighting the religion, or we are not fighting the other side of the Shia. On the contrary, we are trying to make everything accessible to the people.
To find resolutions for the Nakba, for the catastrophe.
Exactly.
We are diving into
the Lebanese one.
The Lebanese and the Shia
catastrophe.
Specifically.
We don't want to get it confused with the Palestinian Nakba from 1948.
No, but it's a Nakba of the Shia. It was a great scar in the body of the Shia in 2024. So we have to tackle this issue. It was the same Nakba as for the Palestinians in 1948.
We were meeting for 12 months before the launching. We were meeting in my house, usually sometimes in other houses and cafes. We were meeting and discussing. I wasn't talking about making a block, political block. We was meeting
chit-chatting and trying to analyze.
Our villages are being destroyed. Our land is being occupied. What we're gonna do?
What village are you from, Mohamad?
Rubbat Latin,
which is down
on the borders.
On the borders
with
south.
Israel.
Now it's liberated. It's not occupied by soldiers, but it's occupied by fire.
So people can't enter.
We cannot go there.
It's completely destroyed?
Not completely, 80%. Yesterday, Israel killed a man in Adaisi, the village beside Rubbat Latin. So we were meeting to discuss, not to make politics. But suddenly, ceasefire, we were saying that we must say something. It's huge what happened. And we must say something about what happened. We must say it's wrong. We shouldn't go there. We shouldn't do this war. We shouldn't go for Gaza.
So you're against the support that Hezbollah
Actually,
gave.
12 months we were raising the voices. that this war is going to cost the Lebanese Shia and the Lebanese people lots and lots of losses. When we were talking about, for example, the resolutions, the UN resolution 1701, we were actually named as betrayal and Zionist because this is a Zionist resolution. Right now, Naim Qasim and all the Hezbollah leaders who are actually separated, and we have like many wings now in Hezbollah, they are all accepting the fact that they are going to abide by the rules of the 1701. So why did we cost our people and our population all of these losses, more than $10 billion of losses, more than 6,000 people who got actually killed by the Israeli war on Lebanon, to get finally to the same resolution that we were actually attacked, that we are Zionists because we want our country, we want the survival of our people, we want actually the peace for our people. They actually always translate peace that they want to make relations with Israel. Peace doesn't mean let's go and have commercial deals with Israel. And peace means the peace for the Lebanese people to live in a healthy environment, in a good environment. Like yesterday or 2 days ago, or I don't know, 1 week ago, when we have the threat from Haqiqah Adru'i for the building in Dahi. You don't know what people and how people were feeling that their kids in the school, which is near the building that is going to be hit. Do Shia want this to happen again for them?
No, they don't want. But where can they go?
Yeah.
I always make an example. So the Shia are like a family. The father is an alcoholic. He beats them. He's not good with their mom, not good with the children, and he doesn't support them financially. But the neighborhood is full of wolves, human wolves. So if they go out, someone will eat them. So they won't go out unless there is another father, another house,
That will incubate them.
another roof
Protect them.
to go there, to protect them. Maybe the government, a new government, the state, the Arabs, the West. So till now, I will say it again. If you're not making a new project for them, they will stay under
their
the
place.
roof of this bad father. Even if they know he is bad.
So, but you're making a roof through towards salvation, your new movement, but really the Lebanese government is responsible for the Lebanese citizens, every Lebanese citizen. And so through your movement and through your political party, is it going to be a political party?
Actually, right now we are just a movement or liqa or group, because actually in Lebanon there are lots of parties. I don't believe that the term party is the important in this movement. So right now, what's more important is the program, is the schedule of the acts that we are going to take in the upcoming.
Tell us about them.
Mainly, we started our actually main headline inside this project by اتفاق الطائف, which is the Taif agreement that says لبنان عربي الهوية. So Lebanon is an Arab identity and also Arab belonging. So we are one of the main founders also of Al-Jama'a Al-Arabiya. So right now we started from this fact to say that we have to always be open to our neighborhood countries, and this actually what helped us more than the war. Like right now, Saudi Arabia is trying to be with us, is opening again the diplomatic relations with our minister, with our prime minister, and with the president. This would make Lebanon a protected country. Is one state of many different Arab states that help him to be saved from the wars or everything. This is firstly the اتفاق الطائف agreement, and Shia doesn't want, we want an Arab project that rebuild again the institutions inside the country, because all of the institutions were filled of corruption because of the of the control of not only Hezbollah and other parties who were allies with him and other parties also. So right now we need to have some modifications, some reforms for the health policy, for the economic policies. We need, for example, the e-governance, because e-governance right now is one key point for helping people to lower the corruption. In addition to the independent judiciary, right now, القضاء المستقل, independent judiciary is very important to make the Lebanese people, and especially the Shia, trust the new
era.
That actually there are ministers and member of parliaments who can get to the courts and يساءلوا بموضوع الcorruption والفساد. This is important right now to make the Lebanese people retrust the government. This is briefly our project, and of course Mohamad can continue, and we will also work hard on the elections, because we know that elections is an important station. It's not the ultimate goal. It's not that after elections we will not work. We will work hard. Right now we have 1 year, which is a very short period of time for the elections, but it's an important station that we have to work hard for it and then continue our project in the future.
It's the beginning.
Yeah.
It's the beginning. So just to summarize this new alternative movement, it's largely made of Shia, and it's but you have other members from different groups. Just in relation, we'll just go into the strategy for the elections in a minute, but using Taif as the base, of the understanding of the Taif agreement as your base, and implementing many of the conditions that most of Lebanon and the new government, the new ministers all agree about 1701, 1559, implementing that to take charge of the boundaries and the borders of Lebanon and control the sovereignty of the country. So is there anything, other points that are unique to what you're proposing? The Arab legitimacy you mentioned. And just on that point, I mean, we do know that there's a lot of Lebanese who consider themselves more European than Arab, because we've had this schizophrenia for a long time.
Or
the
Phoenicians.
influence of Phoenicians. I mean, the Phoenicians came before everyone, really. So it's like, we all came from Phoenicians because they're 3,000, 4,000 years old. But yes, I think it's adopted by many Christians as, it's a Christian thing. I think it's just a heritage
Our
thing.
Aruba, our Arabness, it's not about the past or the history or even only the geographic issue. It's about our benefits.
Interests.
Yeah. Our interests. We are a part of the Arab world.
We speak Arabic.
And of course,
it's our language.
But we are surrounded by the sea, Israel, and Syria is our door to the Arab world. So we cannot be Israelis, even after making peace later.
No.
Lebanon is not ready to be in the Israeli era.
Camp.
Our Israeli region. So we don't have many choices. We only have the sea and the Arab world. That's before Taif, before Phoenicians, before making this discussion. That's one. For two, we are diving into a big financial crisis. Only the Arabs are able and have the money to help us in our banks, in the recovery of our economy, in the recovery of our state, military wise, and the security forces. And the Arabs are well connected with the Americans and the Europeans to make a conference to collect money to make the reconstruction in the south, Dahi and Beqa. So we don't have other choices. In addition of that, we must say always that the Arabs, the Taif agreement were made in the Saudi kingdom. So the Taif is a city in the Saudi. So they are the sponsor of our constitution. And still, they are defending our constitution now, the Ta'if, and they are supporting Nawaf Salam and Joseph Aoun and the new government in Lebanon. So we are telling the Shia that the experience of militia, the suggestion of weapon will protect is failed. It's failing now. It's done. We have to move on into a new era where we want, as Shia, to be part of the state, for one. For two, we want, as Shia, to be part of the Arab world and to be part of the international community.
The point of the Shia joining the Arab community instead of the Persian-Iranian sort
of course.
Line. How does that sit well with the religious dynamic? I mean, Saudi Arabia is the Sunni capital of the world.
80
it's the
years
leader.
ago,
And Shiaism is really rooted in Iran.
100 years ago, the Lebanese Shia, 1920, were connected to Sharif Hussein in Syria. They refused to be Lebanese. It's history. They wanted to be Arabs with the Syrian government. 100 years ago, the Shia of the south, Bekaa, Beirut, they want to be Arabs. 25 years later, 1943, 1945, 1950, they were allying with the Arabs. They want to be with Abdel Nasser. The Shia were fascinated by the Abdel Nasser image. He was a Sunni.
He was the leader of the
Egyptian
Shia.
Sunni leader. His
Pan-Arabist
image was
leader.
all over the Shia houses. Right. So we are Arabs.
It's an ideology. They believed in the ideology.
It's not a new suggestion. We are Arabs. We were Arabs. Our grandfathers were Arabs and they weren't Iranian. When Iran get into our houses, it's when the Soviet Union broke in the 80s, and the Shia were getting out of the leftist parties, and when the suggestion of Uruba, of Arabness, was falling also in the 80s and the 90s, that's where Iran get into our houses, and she took the Shia and she said, I will protect you.
Well, it's the era of the Khomeini. Khomeini brought fundamentalist Shiaism to
79, 80s,
Iran
90s, that's what I'm saying.
and transformed the idea of Shiites and what they stand for. So that era, yes, it began during that time.
80s.
Do you think that the Lebanese Shia are in any way similar to Shia around the world, like in Iran in particular?
No, in Iraq.
No.
In Iraq?
The Qadhimi era in the last decade. The
Is
Shia
it a cultural thing or is it a religious thing? Because this is a very important point.
It's not either that, either this.
It's not
It's
the
a
fact.
political.
It's not the fact that Iran is the supreme leader in the religion to all the Shia. By the way, the supreme leader for the Shia in the world is an Arab religious man who is Sayyid Ali Sistani. He is an Iraqi religious man.
Shia?
So,
Shia.
like, yeah.
Of course.
Like the for example,
Arab Iraqi.
like the Pope for the Christians.
Yes.
In Vatican, to the Shia in the whole world.
Our Pope is Sistani. It's
Our
not
Pope
Khamenei.
is Sistani. It's
Right.
not the Khamenei.
Really?
So
Yeah,
of course. And even the Hezbollah party and Hezbollah people know this.
Most
know
of
this
them,
fact,
they
or-
belong to Sistani, not to Khamenei.
They believe or they follow.
Exactly.
There's
They
a-
follow.
They follow. Somehow it's near follow, but it's not
Yeah,
follow.
it's- I know.
So
I'm
it doesn't
trying to
mean
remember
it doesn't
the
mean to follow Iran. In order to be a Shia, you have to follow Iran. Iran is
That was a
is not.
Hezbollah thing.
Yeah,
was that a Hezbollah
yeah, of
thing more
course.
than a Shia thing? Because I know a lot of Shia who said, we're not Iranian Shia, we're Lebanese Shia, and we're not the same. And this question came up a lot, where we're people, and this is the propaganda, the narrative that gets sold around the world and portrayed,
The Iraqi
that the Lebanese Shia want to create a caliphate ma Iran, and they're trying, and even a lot of Lebanese Christians believe that the Shia in Lebanon want to create a caliphate ma Iran and become part of the Ummah.
And also, what's more important is the Wilayat al-Faqih. The Wilayat al-Faqih, if you have listened to this concept, Wilayat al-Faqih is not about the Shia. Wilayat al-Faqih is a new concept that came to the Shia party in the last 45 years with Al-Khomeini.
Right.
It doesn't mean that people who are not believing in the Wilayat al-Faqih, they are not Shia. Hezbollah tried to make this the general concept so that people know that they are the only Shia. However, this is a new concept even. It's a modern concept. Al-A'imma al-Ithna Ashar, they did not believe in the fact of the Wilayat al-Faqih. Wilayat al-Faqih is a new concept, as I said, that was created by Ismail al-Safawi. He is also from the Persian territory, and then continued by Al-Khomeini. So now what we are saying that Shia people in general are belong to the Islamic concepts, beliefs, and not to things which were created falsely by the Iranian people and the religious men in the last 50 years. Yeah.
Very interesting. That deserves a topic and a discussion all on its own, because the reality is no one has kept track with history, and no one, especially in Lebanon, has been recording and educating the Lebanese, let alone those in Lebanon, let alone outside Lebanon, to track what you guys have been talking about today. It's fascinating and it's very important because the new generation have no idea.
There is a sheikh in my village with Hezbollah. His name is Akram Barakat. He's a educated sheikh.
Moderate.
No, he's not. He's Hezbollah, but he's a writer. He go on TVs. He's a good sheikh. Once he was making a speech in the village. He was saying all the martyrs of the era before Hezbollah, they're not martyrs. They're not going to the Jannah, to the heaven. So he doesn't know that I know that his brother was a martyr with the Ba'ath party before Hezbollah. So I raised my hand and I told him, can you tell your mother that her son is not a martyr? In front of all and I'm saying that on camera, there were 200 witnesses for that. So they are making the history, they are lying about the history all the time, rewriting our history all the time. His brother is a martyr with Hezbollah Ba'ath. And he's saying he's not a martyr. So they are making everything different, but it's not the truth. And we don't have the resources to fight back. Exactly. We don't have the media. We don't have the money. We don't have a place to meet. As Nahwa al-Inqadh, we're not asking for money, but we're answering your questions. So to make all this go in the right way, we need the project.
And everything you're saying about the propaganda or the narrative and controlling the point of view or what's being taught and spread from many years now is so similar to the Zionist project, right? Yeah. The Zionist project for more than 100 years has been manipulating and controlling the public relations.
Yeah.
Their greatest achievement by far, when we study Zionism, is their public relations initiative. They have manipulated...
No, they have a bigger achievement, the Zionism, is to take... The Herzl project is to make religious states in the region instead of national states. So what is Iran doing 4 decades ago is similar to the Zionists. Yeah. They were trying to make Shia here, Sunnah there, Druze there. This is the Herzl project. Exactly. Iran is one of the Iranian project is one of the best allies to the Herzl project.
Yes, and I've read history on how close the Persian, when the Shah was there, was very close to the Zionists in the 50s and 60s before he was removed from power. But I'm saying to manipulate the minds of people and the populist opinion for decades, the PR project through the media, controlling the books, controlling the education systems across the world. If you look at the Zionist influence in the British public education system, in Australia, in America, in France, when you see what contracts they've been able to secure, it's incredible. But the media and the PR, I say that because I'm in media, and the people have one source of information they used to have, really.
Similarly, Hezbollah and Lebanon.
Mainstream media, mazboot. But I'm
Both
saying that's
the
why
media
they
for
control
more than
the
40
media.
years. He
And
controlled
that's
the
what-
media, Hezbollah.
Exactly.
70% of the media before the big fall of Hezbollah were being paid by known people from the Hezb.
Even his enemies.
But even the political other, not to want to just
Like, for example,
identify
some of the
Hezbollah.
enemies of Hezbollah channels, we don't go live on this channel, for example, because it's paid by Hezbollah.
Still, for now.
And still,
But I'm
imagine.
And absolutely right about the Hezbollah, it's its own platform. But here in Lebanon, every political party has its own media platform. Every political party uses that media platform as a propaganda piece. So it's not unique to Hezbollah. It's modern, it's a modern situation with the media in Lebanon. It has been for decades now. And that's why big money gets into media, not only in Lebanon, but around the world, and why we need to address this issue of an independent media, which they're trying to...
We need SHIA independent media in Lebanon.
We need independent media.
To rewrite...
We need independent media, because independent media would support the Shia.
No.
Would support...
No, that's not right.
Why?
There is independent media in Lebanon.
Lots of independent media.
Lots of independent media, European and American
but they're not
support.
independent.
But
if they're European or American
They don't
support,
cover mainly.
because that means they're not independent.
Of course, yeah, but they call themselves. My PhD is about the financing, the fund, European American fund for the الإعلام البديل, يعني alternative media in Lebanon, and they call themselves alternative and independent. But there is no Shiite media who is able to rewrite the right history, to give a new perspective to the Shia. We have shortage in everything.
Yeah.
So,
we are trying.
So our best ally is the MTV, a Christian TV, who is holding our backs.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Because you're anti-Hezbollah and they're anti-Hezbollah. Mazboot?
Yeah, and we have the same Lebanese program and Lebanese outline for the Lebanese state. We share many thoughts together. That's why they would love to be aligned with us.
We don't have the house. We are guests.
We are guests to the. And even we are trying by our lowest resources to do something. Like for example, we are doing like books right now in Book Fair 2026 about those things to make people, to educate people.
Yeah, we have three books. About Shia and the book affair.
Put it in English. You need to translate to English.
We will try to talk to the publishers regarding this issue. We know that books right now is not something that can get into every house and to the youth especially. We know that media and TV is the main source for this thing. However, we are trying with our lowest resources to influence these things. Absolutely. Even, for example, my platform, which was also I established it. It's about Haqiqah. I named it Haqiqah, the truth, in order to tell the Shia people specifically through many stages how can we reach the true information that they did not allow us to get it through the whole 40 years. Yeah. So it's mainly focusing on the Shiite concepts and things.
We got carried away, but it's been fascinating. But I do want to touch on the last two topics and get you to tell us what the plan is for the strategy for the 2026 elections. If you can briefly
Waiting for Godot.
Waiting for gold?
For Godot.
For Godot.
Play or...
yes, very famous play.
It's a famous play.
Yes.
We love it. Yeah, because we are preparing ourselves, of course. We are always preparing. We are always
We
in the
are here, we are
preparation.
there all the time on the
But
screens,
to have
saying,
lists or have a
yelling,
party or
shouting.
have candidates
Not
in
necessarily, I
every.
believe, to have, for example, party. Not necessary.
But
For example,
candidates.
13 candidate from the revolutionist.
It's important to have a party. It's important to make a party,
But right now,
but right now we don't have the
Means.
right means and resources to do it.
But will you have representatives in all of the 27 districts? Is it across Lebanon?
mostly.
Yeah,
But
we
they will
are
have to
more
be
than
on a list
27
then.
يعني in all the هذا. Yeah, we can do that, but right now, because we don't have the schedule yet, because me myself, for example, I'm not interested in being a candidate. So
And also, there is an important thing. We have to talk to the diaspora about this issue. Diaspora is a very important pillar with respect to our elections. When we say our elections, it doesn't mean we are making it different from other elections. But our election, especially in the Shia territory, was under the fire. Like we were threatened in the latest elections, like Sheikh Abbas Jawhari, our friend, were threatened with the gun in front of his house. So diaspora should be helping us in a mean of that should be supporting the Shia candidates to elect for
Do
them.
you have direct contact with the diaspora in Africa, in South America? There's Germany, Brazil, and also Africa are the largest concentrations of Shia, or are they?
we don't have any connections. But
Germany, Brazil. I
also,
think
we have to convince the other parties. We have to convince the Christians in the south that making a
Coalition or
no, not
the
coalition.
opposite?
The
That
Shia
electing
seat is more important than the
than
Christian seat.
So it's not important that Anton Habshi from Lebanese forces wins in the Baalbek. You have to work on the Shia candidate. It's more important. In the south, it's the same. Jbel, Babda. So
Beirut,
we have to convince the other parties, the other
to sacrifice
to make sacrifice
yeah, exactly.
to make a
But then you could go.
Shiite bloc.
Wouldn't they invite you to be on their ticket then? Wouldn't they invite a Shia candidate to be on the await or on the?
What we benefit if we are on the list of them,
And then you get in.
but they don't elect. Yeah. Many
If you get elected.
many candidates were with the list of Lebanese forces or Kataib or other Christian parties. But this is not the point. The point is that, for example, I'm going to give you a short example. Pierre Bouassi, he is a Lebanese, he is a member of parliament in Babda. Pierre Bouassi got the latest elections 15,000 votes for him. Okay, on the list, he was 15,000 votes, and the Shia get like 500 votes. If they give like 4,000 votes for the Shia, he would be actually winning over the Hezbollah candidate in Babda. And then we do not enter into the dilemma in the parliament, who is going to be the speaker of the parliament. Okay, so in that day, the Lebanese forces enter to the parliament saying, oh, we forget that we don't have a Shia candidate. So no, you have to work on it.
Of course.
Not to get surprised at the end of the day and saying, no, we don't have a candidate.
We're going to wind this up. I could keep talking to you forever. There's so much to get to, but it's a great start. And I think we need to do more, have more conversations with you, and also to continue to be updated on the progress towards salvation. We're very excited to hear that there is
We're
a new
excited
movement, there's
and
new
frustrated
opportunities.
at the same time.
Of course. They say, the point of breakthrough is when you're frustrated and confused even, but you just keep pushing through to get through the breakthrough. But the opportunity, you've created an opportunity, you've created a platform, you've created a new opportunity for people, the Shia in Lebanon and around the world, as well as other Lebanese communities, to support you for a better Lebanon. Are we thumbs up or thumbs down on the new government, Lebanese government? Thumbs up?
None.
Thumbs up?
Thumbs
Till
up.
now.
Let's
Thumbs up till now. Right, till now.
Okay. Thank
So
you
far.
both very much for
Thank
joining
you
me
for your
today.
support.
Thank you,
for a
Daisy, for your
fascinating
support. Indeed,
discussion.
indeed.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode of Real Talk.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Real Talk and experiencing firsthand the real stories told by real people. I hope you found value and meaning and encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Your ongoing financial support is vital to our ability to continue delivering these stories, so please remember to click on the donate button in the description, giving only what you can afford. I spent my whole life giving my time, money and skill to serve human rights and social justice causes, and I know it's not easy to keep giving selflessly. But this work is important because the mainstream media has failed to live up to their obligations. So we need to step up, speak up, or we're no better than them. I believe by tuning in to this podcast, you are someone who wants to know the facts and the truth, so you can independently decide what to believe and what not to. My job is to deliver that information. Yours is to place a value on it. Whatever you decide is humbly welcome. Thanks again, and see you on the next episode of Real Talk.